Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we're going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Mike Barnes trained Robby during the events of Cobra Kai Season 1, Part 2? If you guys haven't seen Part 1, I would recommend you go watch it before continuing this one. So in this timeline, Robby and Mike Barnes would confront Johnny and Kreese at Cobra Kai. Johnny and Kreese would be surprised to see them. Kreese would recognize Mike, and Johnny would be confused seeing Robby with Mike, so Johnny would ask him who he was. So Mike Barnes would introduce himself to Johnny. Johnny would get mad, hearing that Mike was training Robby, but Robby would stand up for Mike, and he would tell Johnny that Mike was really helping him. The rest of the Cobra Kai students would watch, and they would find out that Robby was Johnny's son. Mike Barnes would talk in front of the students, and he would warn them that Cobra Kai ruined his life, and he would tell the Cobra Kai students not to trust Kreese or Johnny. Johnny would start to get mad, so Mike and Robby would walk out, and the events of Season 2 would carry on. Mike would continue training Robby, and Johnny would want to talk to Robby. Johnny would be mad that Robby was training with Mike, but Robby would tell Johnny that Mike was a better man than he'll ever be, and he would also tell him that Mike Barnes was a national champion and that he was a better fighter, but Johnny would say that he could take him on. Mike would overhear this, and he would challenge Johnny, so Johnny and Mike would want to have a fight, similar to the fight Daniel and Johnny had in Season 4. Johnny would get training from Kreese again, and since Johnny and Daniel were friends, Johnny would tell Daniel about the fight, and he would tell him about Mike Barnes. Daniel would remember Mike's name. Daniel would still have a personal vendetta against Mike, and he would warn Johnny about Mike Barnes. He would tell Johnny that Mike was a dirty fighter, and he would say that Robby was in danger. So Johnny would continue his training, and the day of the match, Mike and Robby would once again show up at the Cobra Kai dojo, and the rest of the Cobra Kai students would watch the fight. Mike and Johnny would be ready to fight, and the match would begin. Mike would be fighting aggressively, and he would get the first point. Johnny would start to get mad, and he would start fighting more aggressively, but Mike would be ready to counter it, and he would get another point on Johnny. The score would be 2-0. Johnny would want to sweep Mike's leg, but Mike would be ready, and he would land the final point on Johnny, so Mike would defeat Johnny 3-0. The students would be surprised, and some would choose to walk out with Mike and Robby. The rivalry between Johnny and Mike would start to grow. Some of the Cobra Kai students would be mad that Johnny lost, and they would want to get their revenge. So Hawk and a couple other Cobras would want to trash Mike Barnes' furniture store, so they would want to break in, and in this timeline, Robby would be there, and he would want to stop them. So the Cobra Kai students would fight Robby, but Robby would be more prepared in this timeline, and he would fight back, and it would be a similar fight to the fight Robby had at the beginning of Season 4. So Robby would defeat the Cobra Kai students, and he would decide to call the police, but some of the Cobra Kai students would escape. Kreese would hear what the Cobra Kai students had done, and he would be mad that Cobra Kai lost. So Kreese would want to get his revenge on Mike Barnes for defeating Johnny, so Kreese would decide to call Terry Silver, and that is where I'm going to end Part 2. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Mike Barnes trained Robby during the events of Cobra Kai Season 1? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.